crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place?
The taco place?
Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, RoadPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange store. For more coverage of Boise State athletics, check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com, now part of the 247 Sports family. Now, here's five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
All right, how we doing? Mike Prater. We've got low signal, so we'll do the best we can here today, but I'm the weirdo with the microphone in the Boise Airport. How we doing? BJ Rains with you guys. We are live on Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. It is at 9 o'clock on a Friday, and Mike, we're getting ready for a flight to Denver for the Boise State Air Force game, and tried to find a quiet spot here, but I've got a couple. Hey, how's it going? Got fans here hanging out, folks watching, so we'll do the best we can, Prater, but we're live and we're talking Boise State football. How we doing?
Yeah, it's always fun to be the weirdo in the airport, but we switch that around a little bit. You're like the important guy in the airport, getting ready for a football weekend, and I know you're heading to Colorado. I can't wait for this game, and I know we're going to dive into that. So juggling a little bit today. Appreciate you doing it, and let's get after it today, huh?
Yeah, we tried to figure out, do we go at 8 o'clock at my house? Do we make it work at 9 from the airport? This is putting a little bit of a damper on my airport beer here, Prater, so we'll have to figure out how to make that work at some point. If Prater ever goes full screen, that might mean I'm running up to the bar, so just keep talking, and I'll be back quickly. But, no, we're excited for the game.
In all
Go ahead,
seriousness, do you get because at the airport, beers are legal 24/7, right? In terms of just going, even on a morning flight, do you grab an airport beer? Is that a tradition for you? Yes.
No comment.
You can put some tomato juice in it like my dad used to do. My
wife might be watching. So my wife might be watching. So there's a reason I'm zoomed in right now on the camera. We'll just say that, Prater. So one of those just kind of traditions. You know what? Before you head on a flight, you need to have a little airport beer and relax. And we'll try to make it work today. But
nice.
I tried to find a spot that was kind of in the corner. I'm not really. They have all this renovations and things going on in the airport, Prater. I mean, it's going to be really nice when this is all done. I'm over in the area where the old Bar Dene used to be right after you check in.
Yeah.
They've got that new bar over here. If I turn the camera a little bit, I don't know if I'm supposed to or not, but they got the new bar over there now, right when you walk in the airport. It's a pretty nice setup. So I told the lady I was doing a podcast. Well, I guess I just told you I was at the bar then, but I told the lady I was doing a podcast and that I was going to be sitting over here out of everyone's way, and we'll see what happens. But I saw a lot of fans checking bags right ahead of me, Mike. I mean, this is the last scheduled trip to Air Force for a long time. So I know a lot of fans, it's an easy flight to Denver and a quick drive down. And I mean, there's some games, especially on basketball side, New Mexico, Nevada, some of these teams where it's like, oh, I could see them scheduling them for non-conference games. I don't think Spencer Danielson's going to be hurrying to try to schedule Air Force in the non-conference here moving forward, just because of what they do and how tough it is. So, I mean, this is, unless they meet in a bowl game or something, or I guess the championship game here in a couple of months, probably the last time, I would assume, for a long time, Boise State's going to play Air Force.
I would tend to agree with that, although people are out there saying we should never schedule them again. I like the idea of scheduling Air Force. As a matter of fact, I like the idea of scheduling every single Mountain West team that's being left behind down the road. It doesn't have to be a priority, but there's 5 or 6 teams there that if they end up having a home-and-home series, I don't even mind a home-and-home series occasionally with a Wyoming of the world or whatever it is out there. So Air Force is always kind of fun to play a little bit. I'm not worried about their option. I don't worry about the injuries, all those kind of intangible factors that always come with a narrative of an Air Force football game. Down the road, hopefully we get to see a lot of these different teams, but probably not as steady dose. And I know Jeremiah Dickey and his schedule. There's a lot of conversations about his schedule. There are some openings, and I've actually requested a meeting with Jeremiah Dickey. I want to go to scheduling school in his office and try to figure some things out. He said some things that are very curious to me, is about not a lot of openings on their schedule. Based on what we know publicly, there are a lot of openings on the schedule. I know he's playing a game. I know he can't release all the information, but the scheduling part of Boise State football moving forward is a very fascinating subject for me. And I'm all aboard about putting the Mountain West teams on those schedules moving down the road. So let's get after it and see if they can do that.
Deborah Grant says, good morning, BNN. Tyree says, good morning, everyone. And now Doug Binniger says, I just talked to BJ in person 10 minutes ago. So, Doug, I'm not sure if he was working at the Southwest counter or who are the TSAs over there watching us here on the show or not. But no, Doug is actually saw Doug down by the gate. Doug's with Atkinson's Mirror and Glass, does a tremendous job there, and he's heading to the game. I mentioned, Prater, a lot of fans going to this game. I mean, if you've never been, and I don't know if you have, Mike, to a game at the Academy, but they've got the flyover, they've got the parachute team, the running of the cadets. I mean, we're going to try to show as much of that as we can on the pregame show tomorrow down from the field. We'll be live from the field tomorrow night or tomorrow about 3 o'clock to try to show as much as we can. But it is a unique experience when you play at the Academy.
It really is. And I have been to a couple of games there, but it's been a long time. But I don't think a lot of things have changed. And that is one of the cool things when the cadets are in town and they get that stadium rocking. It really does make a difference. If the cadets aren't there and Air Force is having one of those mediocre seasons, it can be a pretty dead place to play. But they're still in the game. It's a conference game. Here comes Boise State. And they're playing okay. And school's in session. The weather's going to be nice. I expect tomorrow to be a pretty festive day. The fact that you're going to be down on the field doing a show tomorrow for BNN. That'll be pretty cool to watch. We'll all check that out and can't wait to see what happens tomorrow.
Are you a Bloody Mary pre-flight kind of guy, Prater? I mean, I know you're a tequila fan. Bronco 130 says Bardonnay Bloody Mary pre-flight.
Yeah, I'm all about Bloody Marys because I don't really drink a lot of beer anymore. So the airport beer, when I was a beat writer back in the day for 15 years, I'm with you, man. I get to the airport. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. Give me a morning beer. Sometimes I would throw a tomato juice in there, but because again, that was my dad's jam. I do like a Bloody Mary. Now, I will have to say this. A couple of weeks ago when I got on a flight from Boise to Seattle, I ordered a Bloody Mary because it was the beginning of a vacation. And they said, we don't have any alcohol. I mean, come on, man. Are you kidding me? It was a major airline. Delta, and they didn't have any alcohol on the plane, and I couldn't get
And
my
you were probably
morning
sitting first class too. I mean, come on. I thought that was free.
I don't know about first class. I can handle coach from Boise to Seattle, maybe from Seattle to wherever I was going, a little bit of a room upgrade for my big fat body. But yes, come on, man. Airport beers, Bloody Marys in the morning. It's all legal. It's all fun. It's all part of the trip, man. Make it happen.
It's closed right now. I mean, if I could turn the camera around, the Bardonnais area is getting redone. It's closed. They're actually doing a ton of construction and improvements to the airport here. I mean, that new bar down there, I forget what it's called, but the Idaho Tap House, I believe it is, down there in the middle. I don't know when you came by, Prater, if that was open or not, but
yeah, it was very cool.
They tripled the amount of bar seating down there. And if you're a lot of people traveling by themselves, you want to just sit at the bar and have a beer. The old whatever the old place was called, they had seats for like 8 people at the bar. Now about 40 people can probably sit there. I mean,
yeah,
I give I know they got a lot of construction going on here at the airport, but I give these guys credit because the airport, obviously as the number of flights and the demand continues to rise. And I know they're working on an expansion. What do they have? The whole rental car lot or garage, I guess, that they're building. But folks waving over here. How you doing?
The weirdo in the airport with the mic.
I mean, this is the Boise Airport used to be this kind of. I just hope the lines and everything stay small here, Prater, because I love this airport, but it's starting to get bigger. But I do think some of these changes are going to be nice.
I think the Boise Airport, and I've said this forever, is the nicest, best, most efficient airport in all of America. I really, truly believe that. In terms of just the ease. I mean, if you have a 9 o'clock flight, you can literally leave your house at 8 o'clock, depending on the situation you have, and still make your flight. Yeah, it's getting a little busier, just like Boise's getting a little busier. And the cool thing about the Boise Airport is they're always investing and always growing. And you mentioned all the changes and certainly the parking garages. I have a good friend who's one of the lead designers on one of those parking garages, and she kind of keeps me posted in terms of what they're doing. It's really, really cool what they're doing out there. I love the growth. Growth, as Jeremiah Dickey likes to say, growth is progress. Progress is whatever, he says, and it's certainly going on at the Boise Airport.
I mean, I was probably less than 10 minutes, Prater, from pulling in to being down by the gate today. I mean, I hope that stays the same because I was surprised. But 8 o'clock, I thought there'd be more traffic on the freeway. I must have got ahead of most of the traffic and pulled right into the long-term parking and went right up, of course, to the A-list check-in area for Southwest, and then checked my bag, and now I'm down here. So
nice.
Tyree says Boise Airport is elite.
100%.
Agree with that. But I want to go back, Prater. You said, Harley says you've never been to the Wichita airport. Very small but nice, small security lines, literally 5-10 minutes with the pre-check. They said it's sure as a step up from the old terminal. I wasn't here from the old terminal, Prater. Did this airport used to be not as good?
Yeah, well, the old terminal was old. Absolutely. That was a long time ago. And more than 20 years ago. And even then, for Boise 20 years ago, it was fine. But yeah, the new one is spectacular. It's gorgeous. It's clean. It's beautiful. It's nice. And I really dig it. So I love the Boise Airport. And, you never really have to worry about the lines. And TSA pre-check is always good. But, it doesn't really matter at the Boise Airport. Maybe some of the bigger airports that we all get stuck in sometimes. But yeah, this is turning into a big old fat Boise Airport commercial. But I think they do a fantastic job there. And I really think it's cool.
And it's funny you mentioned about 24/7 at the airport. It's legal to get a beer. Not everywhere. I mean, I can think of a couple of places, Albuquerque in particular, where I get there for a morning flight, and the bar, there's no one to be seen in the bar area. I mean, it's like you gotta. Some of these cities and states have different regulations on how early you can get a beverage or not. But so Albuquerque is not a fan of mine. You have to think of alternative ways, I guess, before a flight in Albuquerque if you're flying out in the morning. But I was happy to see that both bars here at the Boise Airport were alive and well at 8:30 in the morning this morning, Prater.
Nice. That's the way it goes. That's how you start a college football road trip, buddy.
Now, I want to go back. You said you're not worried about the triple option. You're not worried about Air Force and their offense. And I mean, I've said this all week. I'm very concerned. I think Boise State, and I texted you the numbers. I mean, maybe I'm overplaying this, and Boise State's going to win by 24 points. And I said I should have seen this coming. I know the talent on Boise State's defense and the experience overall you like, but for me to only have 3 guys that have played really any more than like 2 or 3 snaps against Air Force really concerns me going into this game. And even a Jaden Mickey, when we talked to him yesterday, he said, yeah, first time I played Air Force, or I guess it was Wednesday, first time I played Air Force didn't go well. Second time much better, or Navy. But Navy. I mean, usually when you play this triple option, it takes time in a couple drives and maybe even a game to kind of figure out what to do. And for Boise State to only have 3 guys that have played against this triple option, I know Tyree's saying here the spread is up to 11.5 now, but I just this is very scary for me because when you have guys that have never played against this kind of scheme, and we all know about Boise State's ability to give up long passing plays as well. And we've all seen Air Force over the years beat them on long passing plays. Maybe it's just the negative Nancy in me. I don't know. But I'm not saying they're going to lose, Prater, but I don't think this is going to be some walk in the park.
Yeah, when I say I don't get worried about the option attack anymore, I base that on two different things. And I don't take it lightly, especially if I was a coach or a player. I understand the nuances and the tricky factor of that thing. But take a look at the last couple of years. When Boise State, granted, they had more experienced defenses, but I think Air Force has scored a combined, 30 points in its last 2 games against Boise State. The coaching staff and the background and the context of what they have in terms of trying to stop this rushing attack from Air Force, I think they got a pretty good grasp on that. The NCAA rule changes, the cut block changes, I think that's advantage non-Air Force, everybody that plays Air Force. So those 3 factors that come into play. But mostly it's this. If you can worry about Air Force all you want, or you could just flat out put your head in the sand and not worry about them at all, they're still going to come out and do what they do. And I've said all week long on Idaho Sports Talk, I think Air Force is probably going to score somewhere between, let's go 14 to 24 points. They're going to get their points. They're going to get their runs. They're going to get their yards. They're going to get their punches in on Boise State's defense. And it could be the most elite defense or the worst defense in history. But that's what Air Force does against everybody. So they're going to get theirs, but I think Boise State can handle that to some control. So I think they're going to be fine. Here's the deal. Boise State and their offense against Air Force's defense. Air Force's defense, especially what I saw last week against Utah State, was so stinking bad. I think Boise State's going to be just fine. Let's say Air Force gets 18 points. I think Boise State's going to push 30, maybe even 40 points in this game. So I do think they're going to be able to comfortably cover the spread, but I don't worry about the option per se like we used to. I just think it's a different world, different rules, different era, and Boise State seems like it has a pretty good command on an offense that's still going to get its punches in, but it's not going to be fatal punches.
Todd says Utah State beat them by almost 30. I think we'll be okay. Yeah. Skip says I could see 50 to 17. He says kids are going to come out swinging. Tyree says 38-20 is what my gut is telling me. D-Ray says he went to one of the games almost 10 years ago. That 2014 game, by the way, Mike Sanford, a friend of ours, obviously has been on KTIK a number of times, and BNN does the show with Johnny. He's got his home opener tonight with Valor Christian. He's a high school coach there, at a very prominent coach and prominent high school in the Denver area. He's invited me out, Prater. I'm going to be on the sidelines wearing a headset and all tonight. If they get up big enough, I'm going to try to call a play or two. We'll see. But they've got their home opener tonight, and had nothing going on tonight, and figured, hey, let's go support Mike and check them out. And so I'm looking forward to watching some high school football tonight. And apparently there's some big-time players. They've got a left tackle committed to USC, and the defensive lineman, tight end on the other teams committed to Michigan. So there's supposed to be some coaches coming out tonight. This is one of those rare weekends, Mike Prater, where Colorado State, and Air Force are all home tomorrow. Wow. Are all home tomorrow. So all the teams they're playing as well are going to have coaches in town. And Mike was saying he expects coaches maybe from Boise State and some other schools to make an appearance at their game tonight. This is Christian McCaffrey's old high school. They've got all kinds of D1 prospects, 7 or 8 D1 players on their team. So I'm going to go check it out and see if I bump into any BSU coaches or anybody else tonight, and we'll see. But I guess for me, I get a little emotional because maybe emotional is not the right word, but I mean, I've been to Air Force Academy 4 or 5 times, and there's just something different about going there. And you just never feel good about it if you're Boise State. And I know if you feel good about it, Mike, fans feel good about it, but there's just something about that offense. Maybe it's the 2014 game ingrained in my head where they had the 7 turnovers and lost that game. And maybe it's losing on the blue. I think they've lost twice on the blue to Air Force, since I've been here. Yep. It's just Troy Calhoun, and you would know better than me, Mike, but I mean, he's got to be top 5, top 10 in terms of longest tenured coaches in college football. This is his 19th season at Air Force. There's just something about it for me where I never feel great until the game's over about a Boise State Air Force game.
Yeah, and that's fair, and that's the way it should feel, because again, they're going to get you a little bit. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's not quite that extreme to me. It's like death by by 10 paper cuts, and you can kind of survive that at times. So yeah, they're going to be frustrating. Air Force is going to frustrate you, and there's going to be a play where it's like 3rd and 14, and they pop off a run and get a first down, and it's like people are going to start throwing their Nerf balls at the television set and getting all fired up. I get that. They can be frustrating. This isn't like playing I was going to say this isn't like playing Wyoming, but Wyoming mucks things up on their own when you go to Laramie, just based on the ugly way they play and the physicality of the way they play. So even like the Wyomings of the world have certain nuances. Air Force has certain nuances. But this Boise State, I'd be stunned if Boise State lost this game. But frankly, I was stunned against South Florida. So I'm trying to be a little bit more careful and a little bit more grounded in terms of what we expect from this football team, because I still don't think we know a lot from this football team. I don't think Eastern Washington showed much at all. I still think we're kind of back to square one. The feeling that we had when Boise State opened up the season, kind of optimistic, pretty good about it. Things are going great. Then things got really ugly at South Florida. And then the Eastern Washington game kind of got Boise State back to the starting line where we started this season. And that's kind of where we're starting today in terms of that. So I'm kind of throwing these first 2 games out the window. Today's kind of like a season opener to really find out what this Boise State football team is like. But I think they're going to be okay mentally and physically and X and O's wise against Air Force. But I'm not worried about Air Force's offense anymore. They used to intimidate me. They don't anymore.
Well, yeah, and you talk about playing a Thursday night game to open the season. You get crushed. You're all demoralized by that. Then you have a Friday night game against a FCS program that you're expected to crush, and you do. And then you have a bye week. I mean, it's been a weird start to the season for Boise State fans, for Boise State. Now you get into this rhythm where you're playing, but this will be the first Saturday game, Mike Prater, they've played in I think the last 6 or 7 games, going back to the Mountain West Championship game. The Black Friday game was on a Friday. You had the bowl game, obviously, and then the first 2 games this year were not on Saturdays. So this is their first Saturday game in like their last 6 or 7 games. So you don't feel like they've been kind of part of the party, so to speak, here in terms of college football. But as you said, now they get going pretty much every week. Someone's commenting that I'm a little bit blurry on the screen, Mike. I do apologize for the Wi-Fi. I'm doing the best I can here on airport Wi-Fi. But I should say, Mike, when I connected to the free Wi-Fi for the Boise Airport, it was sponsored by the Idaho Vandals. So maybe that's part of the reason. Maybe that's part of the reason the speed's a little lacking here. If I can't, there's a little blurriness. Right when it popped up, there was a full screen ad for the Idaho Vandals, and right away I knew I might be in trouble.
That's funny. That's hilarious. I'm looking at your screen right now. I don't think it's blurry. I mean, the lighting might not be as what you used to, because I think you travel with some lighting, so the lighting might be just a little bit. But BJ, you look fantastic.
I went, well, thank you, Prater. I mean, it's bad enough that I'm, busting out the BNN mic here at a table in the, restaurant when folks are looking at me, but I was certainly not going to bust out the lighting here in the middle of the lobby of the Boise Airport for folks. So, we're trying to as quietly and as, whatever the word is, discreetly, I guess, do this show and then be done here in a little bit. Yeah,
it looks fine. You look fine, and it sounds fine. You're all good, so you're good to go, bud.
Now, Mike, you tweeted out, and we're supposed to be pretty careful with what we say about what we see at practice, and we've all got to be careful with our words and things. And we've all had a big issue with the kicking battle. And I have a question. I have a soundbite here. I'm going to try to play, and again, internet, speed permitting, would like to play a soundbite from Spencer Danielson talking about the kicking game, because yesterday we talked to him, and I kind of was just blunt, like, who's your kicker? And I would say that I don't love the fact, Mike Prater, that it sounds like, he said something about we're going to adjust as needed. When it's all mental and you talk about kickers, for me, it's like you got to pick a guy and just stick with him for a couple of games here. Like he said, they're going to go with Colton Boomer, but the fact that Colton Boomer, like, you need to say, like, no matter what happens, you're our kicker in this game. But, like, if Colton Boomer goes out there going, if I miss this, I might get pulled right away. For me, that doesn't seem like the best way to approach this. I know they're trying to figure this thing out. I've got the soundbite I'll play here in a second. But for you, what's your take on the kicking game? We all saw your tweet. You called it disastrous at practice the other day. Obviously, here you are in week 4, game 3. You would not be trying to figure out a kicking battle. And for Boise State, you know better than I, Prater. You have to go back a long time to find an in-season kicking controversy battle, whatever, like this. This is not something they're used to doing here. So what's your take on, before we play the soundbite here, what's your take on the kicking game?
Yeah, it's still a disaster for me. It really, truly is. And the fact that even yesterday when Spencer Danielson said they've had a good week of kicking, which, I was, Spencer's always been really, really honest with us. And so if he says they had a good kicking week. I'm going to trust that. Not the segment that I saw, not the segment that was open to the media, not the segment that we were allowed to report on. It was a complete shank disaster. And yeah, Boise State didn't like that. I understand. I didn't break any policy. They just didn't like my choice of words. And, they said that, they were trying to create conflict. And, I get it. There's things that are going on. But yesterday when Spencer Danielson did say that, we've had a good week. He also said we're going to continue the kicking competition Friday at practice. And, I think they're practicing this morning and then flying out later this morning or early this afternoon. So I would assume they're on the practice field right now getting ready to do what they have to do. And if they're out there on the third week of the season still kicking, I don't care if they've come up with Colton Boomer or not. They're still kicking. There's still competition. And I truly believe what you said. They are one miss away from having another guy go out there. I think this could be a Lollapalooza for the entire season, which is really, really unfortunate because we just came off one of the best 5-year security blankets in the history of Boise State kicking. Yeah, Jonah Dalmas finished and didn't quite finish the way he wanted to with his career, but for 5 years, you never once worried about a kick, even going into the Fiesta Bowl. When he lined up for that first kick, oh, it's Jonah, we're good. And then things got a little squirrely. And it's been squirrely ever since. And 3 kickers does not make one. I think they have the yips right now. I think it is more mental than it is physical. Although when I see some of those shanks, that's got to be partly mental or partly physical as well. So I don't think it's going to come into play here. And maybe what you do is you try to get Colton Boomer a couple of comfortable field goals early on just to kind of get him up in the head a little bit. But 3 points and 6 points are not going to decide this football game. I think this kicker conundrum, there you go, that's a good one, is going to continue for at least another couple of weeks until we feel better about what we see.
Well, I've told this story numerous times, and I came over and, was giddy and bragging to you guys that I caught the field goal attempt on Tuesday's practice. But, I mean, the backstory is, Mike, I was not under the goalpost when I caught that field goal. I was well to the right of the field goal post, and I'm not going to say who kicked it. I mean, although I think that was during an open period, we probably could report that. They were stretching. It was getting ready for the hype circle. But, I mean, I was probably 10 feet to the right of the goalpost, and it was not a super long field goal. And the fact that I caught the field goal where I was standing, not necessarily a good sign about where things are going. But I caught it and I tucked it, man. I was ready to return it Avery Williams style.
Nice.
As I said, I've said it all week, but I was like expecting somebody, Stacey Collins, somebody to be like, hello. I was expecting. It's like they've never seen somebody with a microphone before. I mean, this lady's holding her kid walking by, and they're both just staring at me. It's like, I mean, what? Yeah.
Maybe it's the backward hat. Maybe they think you're too old for a backward hat.
Should I go forward hat? Is that bad?
No. Go backward. I like the backward look, especially you got the breakfast beer brewing.
Well, I mean, can you talk long enough that I can make it over there, Prater, to the bar and back in the next 2 minutes? I mean,
I can talk as long as you need me to talk, brother.
But I mean, it was funny because I was expecting somebody, Stacey Collins, somebody to be like, "Oh, nice catch," whatever, and then I was like, "No, they're pissed. They just missed that field goal by 15 feet," and that's a real problem. Mike, it's a real problem. And we're going to hear from Spencer Danielson in just a second. But I do need to thank a couple sponsors here for making this show possible. RowPaint.com, our title sponsor. All your painting needs, make sure you hit up Andy Rowe and RowPaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Best in the business, make the switch today. Idaho Central Credit Union. Hey, Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com, the SOM Management Group. Nicolason family, get some Taco Bell today. We appreciate their support. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. Get those trading cards at Jackson's. You can get the 99-cent coffee as well. Anytime, day or night, using that Let's Go Rewards app. Maybe Saturday's the day, Prater. We finally get the Latrell Caples deal. If Latrell scores, Jackson pours 49-cent any size fountain drink on Monday with Let's Go Rewards. Hey, Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Games, thespateam.com, whether it's a sauna, pool table, all those things, whether it's a spa, they got you covered. 4 locations. They're part of the Boise State home team. Check them out online at thespateam.com. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. They got that new location down there at the Boise State Hall of Fame. They got the location at the mall. And, of course, you can order anywhere in the world online at theblueandorangestore.com. Hey, Lithia Ford of Boise, their fall kickoff sales underway. Lithia Ford of Boise, check them out online. Never a better time to buy a new or pre-owned Ford vehicle, and you can do that at lithiafordboise.com. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher, BauscherRealEstate.com. We bought and sold our home using Matt. Tremendous service. You can do the same, Bauscher Real Estate. ShopRidleys.com is the website for Ridley's Family Markets. 13 locations in the state of Idaho, other surrounding states as well. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line online at ShopRidleys.com. Hey, Transportation Compliance Service, if you're looking for a new job, jump into the trucking industry. Transportation Compliance Service can do that for you online, transcompservice.com. Hey, leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox line at speakpipe.com/BNN. I know, Prater, you guys got a post-game show coming up tomorrow. We got a post-game show, and you can leave us a voicemail. Speakpipe.com/BNN is the website for our post-game show. We'd love to hear from you. If you got a thought, a comment, we got DJ Schramm, Mike, coming out to Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian tomorrow. We'll have DJ Schramm as our special guest with Nathan and Chris on the post-game show. He's played a number of games against Air Force and looking forward to getting his perspective and his take on this. And we'll be at Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian tomorrow. They've got $3 Coors Lights, a lot of great food and drink specials tomorrow. Come hang out, watch the game at Uncle Bob's Pizza with the BNN crew. We're going to have raffles for gift cards, raffles for BNN swag, all kinds of cool stuff. And they're going to do a halftime show and a post-game show live from Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian. So come on out to Uncle Bob's in Meridian and hang out tomorrow. 5 o'clock is the game. Hope to see everybody out there. Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian. And again, 5 o'clock start time. Come on out. The BNN crew will be there throughout the game. And if you're looking for a spot, you don't want to sit on your couch by yourself. You want to come watch the game with other fans and hang out and watch the game and have a cool atmosphere and win some cool prizes. You can do that at Uncle Bob's Pizza there in Meridian tomorrow. And Prater, looking forward to that. I know you guys, I'm going to hopefully join you today, 4:15. I'll be probably in the car heading up to see Mike Sanford and their game up at Valor Christian tonight. But I know you guys have pregame, postgame tomorrow, busy day coming up and conference play. And I forgot my game notes, or I've got them down here somewhere, Mike. But typically the conference opener, Boise State has done pretty well in these games. And so there's a lot of stats trending in Boise State's direction. But again, a lot of reasons why you could be concerned as well. I wanted to hear quickly from Spencer Danielson talking about the kicking situation, as I said.
Of the game, as of right now, going to be Colton Boomer, be our starter. He's had a really good week this week. Jarrett Reeser right now, him and Kanan Moore have had a good week too. So right now going in this, we're still going to kick tomorrow, but it's going to be Colton Boomer. He's had a really good week, and we are going to be ready to pivot when we need to, BJ. And I try to put the specialist. I think sometimes specialists are in this like completely different part of the team. Like if we go in a game and a position's not playing well, it's our job to make some movement, right? We only have 12 promised opportunities. You can't, we'll fix it next game. No, we got to be ready to fix and adjust. Obviously, you don't want to. I want to make sure we continue to build confidence. The second something goes wrong, you can't pull a guy. But we got to find that fine line. But we're going to start the game with Colton Boomer.
How do you do that with that group?
Prater, I'm going to cut it off there. I mean, the full 15-minute interview is up on the BroncoNationNews.com message boards. Go check out the message boards, the website. You can read the full or view the full video from Spencer Danielson. But he says he has confidence in Colton Boomer, but then he says we're going to pivot as we need to. That doesn't put much confidence for me.
Yeah, he's trying to give him the tough love in a really delicate situation. So that's kind of, there was a couple of phrases in there. That one is one of them. The one we talked about earlier when he said they had a really good week of practice. We saw what we saw with our eyes, and it is what it is. I think he's taking if you lose your kicker in the second or third week of the season and becomes an ongoing battle for the entire season, it's going to cost you a football game. And right now, Boise State has zero tolerance for another loss. So he's really treading a fine line there with this kicking situation. I think he feels comfortable right now, today, this week, going into that, but it certainly knows back in the of his mind, he doesn't want to jump on these guys too hard. He wants to love up all three of them. He may need all three of them. So, yeah, I think in his mind, he's playing some games with this kicking situation. He says Boomer is the guy, but he's one miss away from not being the guy. And they're practicing kicking as we speak right now. So it's a little bit different of a situation. I just hope it doesn't raise up and cost Boise State a football game, at least this weekend. I don't think it will.
Yeah, I mentioned on a different topic here, the Jackson's Latrell Caples deal. Can we get Latrell? Is this the week Latrell Caples gets going? I mean, 5 catches for 69 yards in 2 games. He was supposed to be Boise State's #1 receiver. I mean, it's great to see what Chris Marshall's doing, some of these other guys. I mean, Latrell Caples, 5 catches in 2 games wasn't what I was expecting.
That is true. And we had that conversation here at Idaho Sports Talk in one of our production meetings as well. But here's the one deal. Latrell Caples is the #1 targeted wide receiver on this football team. Matt Ladder has 12 targets through the first couple of games. And he may be the #1 targeted guy throughout the rest of the season. Latrell Caples is #2 in terms of targets. I think Latrell Caples is still trying to get his traction, still trying to figure some things out. They're trying to get him the ball. It's not really working in terms of just the catch and conversion rate in terms of what you want to do with the targets and catches. So, yeah, he needs to have a big pop-out game, but I also want to see a big pop-out game from Chris Marshall. In this particular game, I don't think I want it to happen to either one of them. If it does, that's great because they both need it. But this is one of those games where I think a three-headed running back room is the key because you want to beat Air Force with Air Force's type of game. You keep Air Force's offense off the football field. And how do you do that? You run Sire Gaines. You run Malik Sherrod. You run Dylan Riley. And you've got the beast of a running back room. Yeah, you're going to have to pass a little bit, maybe a little bit more play action to kind of keep Air Force in that crappy defense. And you certainly want to take care of the back end of Air Force's defense, which really is bad. But I think this is a game. I need 12 play drives. I need 70-yard drives. I need 6-minute drives. And I need Boise State's offense on the field, not Air Force's offense. So, yeah, there's a couple wide receivers out there that I need some bust-out games, but I hope the running game shines in this game on Saturday.
Large Jam predicting he said, are going to have our second loss. So I don't know if he's an Air Force fan or a Boise State fan, but saying Boise State looks like going to have his second loss is what he's predicting. Bronco 130 wants the fly sweep with Sherrod. Get Sherrod outside in space a little bit. Screen passes, things like that. I know we all agree that would probably suit him well. We've got Tyree saying Latrell is finding the end zone tomorrow. Certainly could if that's the way. Oh, he says BSU's losing tomorrow. Okay, Large Jam, we got you. We got it.
Wow.
We got it. We got it set there. So I know Caples did get hard that first game, but yeah, you'd like to see Latrell really get it going here. Mike, final thing, I got to get down and board my flight here shortly. What just conference opener? I mean, I know that the loss, obviously, in the South Florida game kind of was a little bit of a buzzkill for the season here, but kind of resetting after the bye, and you've got a nice stretch here with at Air Force, and then App State at home, and then at Notre Dame, and then you're back into conference play after that. But just kind of big picture here. Where are you with this team? And I know, you beat Notre Dame, things are back on the table, but as it looks right now, you're certainly not, necessarily in the forefront of the playoff picture. And you're wanting to win the Mountain West and do the best you can and see what happens. But what do you make just big picture of this team ahead of this conference opener Saturday at Air Force?
Yeah, I cannot, because we're going to learn about, for the first time this football season, well, I guess we learned something at South Florida, but since then, we're going to learn something about this football team, and I cannot wait to see what that is. We're going to have a solid picture because, like I said earlier in the show, I think we're kind of back to square one. One negative, here comes a positive to kind of even things out, and now we got this game this weekend to try to see what the true identity is. What is the identity of this Boise State football team? Are they a run team? Are they a pass team? Are they an offensive team? Are they a defensive team? We really don't know what this team's superpower, what its identity is, and I think we'll start to see that develop tomorrow. Boise State could and should dominate the Mountain West this year. They really, really should with the schedule in front of them. So I expect Boise State to go out and crush Air Force tomorrow, crush whatever, 12, 14, 16 points, whatever the number is going to be, cover the spread, which I think is about 11 points at this point. So I think they can take care of business there. But just go out there and be good and be competent. After this game, think about the schedule, guys. 3 of 4 are at home, and the one road game is Notre Dame. If Boise State can come away with a really good feeling from this Air Force game of just playing a good, hard game, not making it fragile, not making it delicate. I don't want to be nervous with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter because Boise State has a 10-point lead and all of a sudden Air Force is driving. I need to come away confident and comfortable, and then I get to enjoy the next month. 3 home games, really fun home games too, Appalachian State, whatever, and then you get UNLV in New Mexico with Jason Neck coming to town, and then the Nevada or the Notre Dame road trip. Just take care of business, get home tomorrow night, and then I think the next month is going to be a really, really fun blast for this Boise State football team.
Well, again, join us at Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian. Going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. DJ Schramm is going to be hanging out, watching the game. You can meet DJ, talk to him, and hang out. We're going to have giveaways. We're giving away some BNN. I mean, that Prater, that hat you're wearing there, we're going to give away to one tomorrow. I mean, that's got to be worth something. The same hat that Mike Prater wears on BNN Live. I mean, that's a big time hat that you can win tomorrow. We'll give one away. We got some shirts to give away, some other Uncle Bob's gift cards and things. So there'll be a raffle tomorrow. All kinds of great stuff. And as I said, $3 Coors Lights. And if you want Prater, they'll even put a little blue dye in there for you. So you can have a Boise State blue Coors Light tomorrow during the game. $3 Coors Lights. Looking forward to that tomorrow. So again, Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian. You can come hang out, watch us, the pregame show, postgame show. DJ Schramm, Nathan, Chris, the whole BNN crew is going to be out there. And then I'll jump in live from Falcon Stadium there at the Air Force Academy. Pregame show is going to be 3 o'clock. Looking forward to that tomorrow. So appreciate all you guys for checking us out. I've had enough dirty looks, Prater. I need to get off of here. We've got about 20 minutes till I board, and my cup's empty. So we got to get back to the.
My cup is empty.
But Prater, appreciate
it's not coffee. So
you came on early. Appreciate you for making this work, Prater. Sorry, folks, a little bit shorter show than usual, but need to get over to Denver, and again, looking forward to checking out the Valor Christian game tonight and checking up with our friend Mike Sanford, and should be a fun couple of days at the Air Force Academy. So enjoy the game. We'll talk to you on the pregame show at 3 o'clock, and then obviously I'll talk to you guys today, 4:15, I believe, Mike, on Prater in the ball game. We'll dive into this game and the matchup, and looking forward to that today. I'll be in Colorado Springs probably when I talk to you guys this afternoon. So make sure you listen 3 to 6. Idaho Sports Talk today with Johnny Prater in the game. They'll have you covered as they get set for Saturday's game. Then we'll be live 3 o'clock tomorrow with pregame, postgame. As I said, we're doing a halftime show as well on the road from Uncle Bob's. So a lot of great stuff. Yeah, Doug says, what are you drinking? He was the guy from Atkinson's down at the other bar down by the gate. Order me another beer, Doug. I'll be down in a few minutes, all right? Come on. How about Modelo, Mick Ultra, whatever you got, Doug? I'll meet you down there in 5 minutes. Yeah, make an order there, Doug. Appreciate that.
Love it.
Prater, appreciate you, and we'll talk this afternoon, and then obviously an interesting game, and we'll see what happens. But thanks, Prater, for coming on, and we'll talk to you later, man.
Yeah, safe travels. Say hi to Mike Sanford for us tonight. That's really cool. I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see what that scene is like. And full report, please, and safe travels, and chat with you this afternoon.
All right, he's Mike Prater. My name is BJ Rains. This has been Bronco Nation News live from the Boise Airport, actually, getting ready to head over to Denver for Boise State Air Force tomorrow. Full coverage online, BroncoNationNews.com. KTIK's got you covered as well, 3 to 6 today. And then all their, 4 hours, 5 hours of pregame coverage tomorrow, Prater?
5, baby.
5 hours of pregame coverage. They'll start at noon tomorrow to get you set for that game at 5 o'clock. And we'll see you at Uncle Bob's Pizza as well. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you guys later. Bronco Nation News live, BroncoNationNews.com.